So there's nothing you can do because you're doing it already. I've read some analogies to living in a prison with the door open and having using techniques, methods, whatever to make that prison more comfortable. I don't really like the the phrase prison, so I was speaking with someone 2 weeks ago and was talking about this idea of a waiting room. Because there's nothing you can do while you're in the waiting room, essentially waiting for your character's name to be called, which even that gets a little bit sticky and tricky. You may as well choose things that are enjoyable to your character. If you like reading about non-duality, spirituality, yoga, meditation, I mean, you're going to anyway. But this idea that you are in a waiting room, and because you can't do anything, you can't participate in anything that gets you to this placeless place faster. So you might as well enjoy the ride, enjoy the wait. The cosmic joke is that while you're in this waiting room, upon realization, you note that the door has been open, and on the door is a sign that says, "Come in." You didn't have to wait for your name to be called. You could just walk through the door and go there. The seeker wants to look for meaning, look for progress in every activity, in every action. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what's happening also. So those activities may as well be something that is enjoyable. For example, meditation. Some find that it calms them to start their day, to end their day, whatever. To say it can be helpful is attaching a story to that particular action. But as a seeker, if you find it useful to meditate because you find that you have more peace, you have more calm throughout your days in doing it, then there's certainly no harm in it. So do it. It can be frustrating. It was frustrating here to know on some level that there was something else, that there was this element of awakening that existed, and some place, even though I knew, I could tell you, there's no place that you can get. But then the mind takes that and runs with it and gets frustrated. But if you're watching this video, or you're watching any of these other videos, or any videos on non-duality Advaita, and there's a feeling or a sensing or a knowing that of this truth, and there's a sense of peace or calm that comes with it, find where that sense of calm is coming from. It's not coming from the mind. It's not coming from your intellect. It's coming from a place deeper within you. And once it's realized, it's seen that it was always with you. It's always been who you are. And the beauty of it is that it's just so ordinary. It's nothing and everything. And there is really no difference in life, and yet arguably there is a dropping away of the stickiness of stories, of the sense of me, every word that's spoken about this is incorrect. The best that we can do is point in a direction, and whether it's posts or videos, I'll get comments or replies, and some end up being great conversations, and others are attempts from apparent people to correct this apparent person. And so it actually ends up being really, really funny to watch. I'll see a comment that will say, that's not true, and then they'll quote an apparent sage and something that they said as part of this quote unquote argument. So you can't get there intellectually, but the mind keeps trying, because that's what it does. The ego, the body mind, whatever you want to call it, it continues to understand this. Even the mind says, I want to be awake. The ego says, I want to get rid of myself, which is hilarious. But it also can create suffering and frustration, because there's this desire to be in this other place. And that suffering and the frustration is created because there's a desire to be something other than what is. And this is it. There is nothing other than this. It's simply this. It's always this. And it's super plain and super ordinary, and the true knowing and understanding of what this is unconditional love, and the most beautiful thing ever. And it's so beautiful that there's a compelling for apparent individuals to write about it, to make videos, to do talks, and yet in the content within that awareness, it's constantly seen that the words don't quite cut it. We seek until we don't. And while we're seeking, if we're going to choose things to do in our lives, choose the enjoyable. Don't have any expectations of the outcomes of those actions. Just participate in them for no reason, just because you do, because you will. And when your name is called, then you can walk through the door. the door's open and you can go through anytime. You don't need to wait for anything.